Very good evening, dear friends. अगर आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं, if you are able to hear me, give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Very good evening, dear friends. Hope all of you are really good. If you are able to hear me, quickly give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that we can start with today's discussion. Okay, that's really good to hear. So we are good to go. Let's start the session. Good evening, Manohar, Sahana, Ijaz, Shambhavi, Sanju, Commerce. It's really good to see you guys today. So today we are going to discuss some of the MCQs, and these MCQs are going to be relevant for a Karnataka assistant professor as well as UGC Net Examination. Accounting and international business is going to be the topic for today, and this discussion is going to be relevant for Karnataka assistant professor, UGC Net, or any other set examination that you are preparing for. And quickly before moving on to the discussion, so guys, we have this Feb Fest sale which is going on, in which you can get 30% discount on the UGC Net courses by applying the promo code Feb30. So today is the last day to apply this promo code, so you can avail this particular deal. And we are offering these courses for UGC Net 2022 and Karnataka Assistant Professor 2022. So if you guys are preparing for Karnataka Assistant Professor, then you should definitely check out this mock test series, and PDF of this session is also available in this particular course, and there is also a revision course which you guys can check out. Okay, so now let's quickly come to the first question. Quickly coming on to the first question. Okay, that's really good to see all of you lovely people joining in today. So quickly coming to the first question, this is an assertion reasoning question. The market value basis is more reliable for recording value of the asset. Reason is adoption of the historical cost brings in objectivity in recording, as the cost of acquisition is easily verifiable from the purchase documents. Let's see some lovely answers today. Let's see some good answers today. It's not that much of a difficult question. Is it not clear? Okay, I have adjusted the camera settings a little bit, so maybe it should be clear now. Okay, I'm getting the answer as option number A. Option number A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. But guys, this answer is not correct. Why are you guys saying option number A should be the answer? Assertion is the market value basis is more reliable. Now, how come the market value basis is more reliable? Reliable means that you can rely on it. To rely on something, you should have proper evidence. You should have proper voucher with regard to it. But for market value, do you guys have any voucher? Do you guys have any evidence? No, you don't have any evidence. You do not have any voucher. So how can you say it is more reliable? How can you say it is more reliable? So this assertion is definitely going to be wrong. Historical cost is more reliable because there is objectivity, you can rely on it, there is a proper source document, there is a proper voucher purchase document through which you can verify your cost. So how come the answer can be option number A? The answer is going to be option number C. You guys should take note of the marks that you are getting today. Yes, market fluctuates from time to time. It's not reliable, it's not objective. Okay. Now let's come to the next question. And I want all of you people to answer this one correctly. While ascertaining the profit or loss of an accounting year, so if you are ascertaining the profit or loss, what should we do? Not take the cost of all the goods produced or purchased during that year. Is this right? This is right, because we should not consider the cost of all the goods. We should only consider the cost of goods sold during the year. We have to consider COGS, cost of goods which have been actually sold. This is as per the matching concept that we are following. All of you are saying option number D. Option number D should be the answer. Yeah. So let's take a look at the option number B. Consider only the cost of goods that have been sold. Yeah, this is right, that we've already discussed. Cost of unsold goods should be deducted from the cost of goods produced or purchased. So from your purchases, you should reduce the cost of the unsold goods. So if you purchased 100 units of a commodity and you only sold 80, then you are going to compare 80 with 80. This 20, the unsold goods during the year, they have to be reduced. This is going to be separately depicted as a closing stock. So matching is to be done. Because of the matching concept, the answer is going to be option number D. All of the above are true. This is as per the matching concept. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Okay. So now let's quickly come to the next question. Neha and Pratik, they are partners and they are sharing profits in the ratio of 5:3. There is a new partner coming in. Nisha is coming in for 1/6 share in the profits, and she acquires the share as 1/8 from Neha and 1/24 from Pratik. We have to compute the new profit sharing ratio. Let's see if you guys can do it. You have to be super quick in all the calculations. Is the screen getting blurred? Is this fine now? Is this fine now? Okay, let's try to solve. Ellen is saying answer should be option number A. So let's try to solve it. So it says that Nisha is being admitted for 1/6 share in the profits of the firm, and she is getting it as 1/8 from Neha and 1/24 from Pratik. So Neha earlier she was having 5/8. She was having the share as 5/8, and now she is giving 1/8 to Nisha. So our remaining profit share is going to be 4/8. And if we talk about Pratik, so in the case of Pratik, his share was 3/8, and now he is giving 1/24 to Neha. Okay, if you solve it, how much this is going to be? Multiply by 3. Okay, so if you do it this way, how much is going to be? It's going to be 8/24. Okay, 8/24. And 8/24, if we try to make the denominator common for all of these, so 1/6, 8/24, 4/8. Let's make the denominator as 24 for all of these. Okay, so this is going to be how much? This is going to be 12. This is going to be how much? 8. And this is going to be how much? 4. 12 is to 8 is to 4. And this is going to ultimately come out to 3:2:1. So that's why the answer is 3:2:1. So this was a very easy question. Okay. Now, so now I can see all the answers as option number A, which is perfectly right. Yes, Shalini 12/8/4, which is ultimately going to be 3:2:1. So now let's come to the next question. In the absence of partnership deed between the partners, which of the following are true? In the absence of partnership deed, which of the following are true? So if you do not have a partnership deed, if you do not have a written agreement, which of the following are going to be true? So let's see some good answers here. Naveen is saying option A. Again, Naina is saying option A, and some people are also saying option number D. Okay, so if we do not have a partnership deed, there is no written agreement between the partners. So in this particular case, partners are going to share profits equally. This is absolutely right. Sorry guys. And interest on capital, it is allowed or not allowed? Interest on capital is not allowed. Partner is not entitled to interest on loan given to the firm. Partner is entitled to. This not word should not be there. So answer cannot be option number D. Answer has to be option number A. answer has to be option number A. Interest on capital is not allowed. Interest on drawings is also not allowed. And on the loan, partner is entitled to interest at 6% per annum. So 6% per annum का interest partner को मिलने वाला है. अगर आपकी partnership deed नहीं भी है, if the partner has given some loan, so in this particular case also उसको यहाँ पे interest loan पे तो मिलने वाला है. So answer is going to be option number A. जो भी D कह रहे हैं, please check your answers again. Answer is not option A. Answer is not option D. Answer is option number A. So please check, guys. You guys are making mistakes in very simple, very easy questions. This should not be the case. Your examination is very near. Let's come to the next question. Statement number 1 is given. Statement number 2 is given. Read these statements and give me the right answer for this one. Do read these statements very carefully, guys. Do read these very carefully. Amalgamation is in the nature of purchase. Difference in the amount of purchase consideration vis-a-vis the value of the net assets of the transferor company should be adjusted in reserves. So this is the key word. Okay. And second statement is amalgamation is in the nature of the merger. Difference in the purchase consideration and the value of the assets is shown as goodwill or capital reserve. Are both these statements right or are they reversed? Shambhavi, Naveen, Sridevi, Raju, all of you are perfectly right here कि none of these statements is true. Why none of these is true? Because the statements are reversed. अगर amalgamation in the nature of merger होता है, in this particular case, you are going to adjust the difference through the reserves. There are different conditions which have to be fulfilled to qualify as amalgamation is in the nature of merger. If they are fulfilled, then you are going to adjust the difference in only reserves. And if it is in the nature of purchase, then any difference between the assets acquired and the purchase consideration which has been paid is to be adjusted as goodwill or capital reserve. If you have paid more, you have acquired goodwill. If you have paid less, this is the capital reserve. Okay. I hope that was clear. Now quickly coming on to the next question. Right, Seema's Academy, both the statements they were reversed. Okay, so quickly coming on to the next question. The amount of securities premium can be utilized for. Whenever we are issuing our shares at a value more than the face value, the excess amount is referred to as your securities premium. So how can you utilize this securities premium? It is going to be shown as a reserve and surplus in your balance sheet. Okay, so how this reserve and surplus is to be utilized? What are the different ways in which you can utilize this reserve and surplus? Let's see who can give the right answers here. Okay, you are saying all are correct. Naveen, Shubha, Shambhavi, Kavya, Venkatesh, Ellen, saying all of these. Yes, this is absolutely right. You can use the security premium to issue fully paid bonus shares. You can write off your preliminary expenses and you can also use it to pay premium while redemption, while repaying your preference shares or your debentures, and also at the time of buyback of shares, you can utilize this particular amount. So for all of these purposes, securities premium can be utilized. This is a very important fact which has to be remembered by you guys. Okay, so now let's quickly come to the next question. Let's come to the next one. 2000 shares of 10 on which 7 have been called and 5 have been paid are forfeited, and 1500 shares are reissued at rupees 9, and you have to identify amount to be debited to share forfeiture at the time of reissue. Right, Shalini, बिल्कुल. हाँ जी, Venkatesh, underwriting expenses can also be paid out of it. Yeah, right. Share forfeiture. So there are 2000 shares. Okay. And how much has been received? 5 has been received. Okay. And this 5 which has been received is going to be forfeited. So amount which is going to be transferred to share forfeiture, it is going to be 10,000. And ultimately we are issuing 500 shares at rupees 9 each. So this means 1 rupee is a discount. 1 rupee is a discount, and this 1 rupee is to be adjusted through share forfeiture. I'm getting the answer is option number D, but some are saying option number B, and I think I'm still waiting for the right answer, na? I'm still waiting for the right answer. No one is saying option C. So read the question very carefully, guys. The question is asking what is the amount to be debited to share forfeiture account at the time of reissue of shares. So at the time of reissue, what is the entry that you are going to pass? You are going to debit bank, you are going to credit your share capital, and the difference. This is going to be done by 1500 into 10, and the difference this is ultimately going to be adjusted through share forfeiture. Okay, this is going to be adjusted through share forfeiture, and this is the answer. This is your answer. This is what the question was asking. At the time of reissue, by how much amount you are going to debit the share forfeiture account, and you guys I think were calculating the amount to be transferred to capital reserve. This was not the requirement of the question, but you guys were doing it. So that's why I say read the question very carefully. Read the question very carefully. Yes, Shalini, now you are right. Okay, so now let's quickly come to the next one. Assertion reasoning question. Please read it very carefully and answer it. Please read it carefully and answer it. Assertion and reasoning are given. Shareholders who had transferred partly paid shares within 1 year prior to the winding up, they may be called upon to pay an amount to pay creditors as existed on the date of transfer of the shares. Their liability is restricted to the amount not called up when the shares were transferred. Let's see if you can answer it. There is a very interesting concept, and this concept, you guys have to tell me. What are these shareholders referred to as? There is a term which we use for these kinds of shareholders. Can anyone tell me what is the term? Okay, Jagtap is saying option A is to be the answer. Yeah, I'm getting the answer is option number A. Answer is option number A, which is perfectly right. But I'm looking for the term which we use. The term which we use here. Suppose I have shares in a company. I have shares in a company A Limited, and I know this company is not doing well. This company is to be wound up really soon. It has lots and lots of amounts of liabilities which are there. Yes, list B contributories. Yes, Raju is right. Raju is right. So now A Limited, I know it is not performing well. I have some shares in A Limited, and one share is of rupees 10, and I have only paid rupees 8 as of now. Rupees 2 is pending. I know the company is to be wound up, and lot of amount would have to be paid by me to the company. The balance amount, rupee 2, has to be paid by me to the company on all the shares that I am having, and I am not going to get anything in return. Companies working in losses, lots of creditors are there. So what I try to do here, I go to a temple. Outside the temple, I see some beggars are there. I transfer my shares to one of the beggar, and I know the beggar won't be able to pay any amount on the shares, and ultimately I am going to escape this liability. So that's why this clause has been inserted. You cannot escape your liability by transferring the partly paid shares to any person who is unable to pay the remaining call money. Okay, so this is referred to as B list contributories. This is the term that I was looking for, B list contributories. Okay, yeah, now I can see many B list contributories. Yeah, so I cannot escape my liability. I have to pay. If the beggar fails to pay the rupees 2 amount, he fails to pay this balance, then I am going to be called upon to pay this rupees 2. Next question. Which is incorrect regarding marginal costing? I hope you guys have studied marginal costing. Let's see how much you have understood it. Let's see how much you have understood it. Marginal costing. बिल्कुल जगताप, बिल्कुल मैं नहीं बचूंगा. First statement is about contribution, next is about PV ratio, then is about margin of safety. Do read it carefully, which is incorrect. Which is incorrect. Ellen is saying option B is incorrect. Do all of you agree? Yes, all of you are saying Ashok, Kiran, Shambhavi, all of you are saying option B is to be the answer. Option B is perfectly right. Now, what is the formula of PV ratio? PV ratio is, what is the formula of PV ratio? Contribution. Contribution is your sales minus your variable cost. And margin of safety, it is your actual sales minus break-even sales. Okay. And profit volume ratio is how much? It is your contribution to total sales. It is your contribution to total sales. This is your profit volume ratio. Okay. This is your PV ratio. Yeah. Ashok, Shambhavi, all of you are right. This is your profit volume ratio. Okay. Now let's come to a question on standard costing. Okay. Let's see if you have done it. Standard costing. तो बेसिकली यहां पे आपको स्टेप्स गिवन है स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग प्रोसेस के एंड यू हैव टू अरेंज देम इन करेक्ट ऑर्डर. यू हैव टू अरेंज दीज इन करेक्ट ऑर्डर. So first step is going to be, what is the first step? Are you going to set the standards first or are you going to ascertain your actual cost first? What is the first step? Chaitra saying option number B will be the answer. The first step, are you going to set your standards first or are you going to ascertain the actual cost? Sir, we are going to ascertain. We are going to ascertain or not. I am getting lots of answers. Option number A. This option number A is perfectly right. First step is definitely going to be setting off the standards. Then you are going to ascertain your actual cost. Then you are going to compare your actual cost with the standard which has been set. And then you are going to investigate the reasons which are responsible for the variance, for the difference between the actual cost and the standard cost. And ultimately these variances, they are going to be disposed of. You are going to treat the variances which have arisen. Okay, you are going to take appropriate action in respect of the variances which have arisen. So that's why answer is option number A. Okay. Now coming to the next one. Okay, yes, Jagtap, पहले standard आएगा. Right, Deshil. So now let's come to the next one. The cost of normal process loss in practice is absorbed by good units produced under the process. Statement number 1. Statement number 2. Cost of abnormal process loss is not treated as a part of the cost of the product. This one is related to process costing. You know, when you are putting in your raw material, the entire raw material is not going to be converted into finished goods. There is definitely going to be some loss which is going to occur. Some normal loss always going to be there. Ujjwal, Bindu, Ashok, Nayana, Ijaz, you are saying option C is correct and option number C is definitely correct. Okay. So suppose I introduced 100 units of raw material. Okay. 100 units of raw material and ultimately I only get the 90 units. Okay, 10 is my normal loss. 10 is normally always going to occur. And suppose the cost of processing, the cost involved in this process is rupees 9,000. So in this particular case, I would say that this cost of 9,000 is actually for 90 units only. 10 is going to be my normal loss. It is always going to occur. So I'm going to say this 9,000 ka cost is for my 90 good units only. I cannot put it for 100. I have to consider it for 90 only because 10 is the loss which is always going to occur. This is your normal loss. Okay. So the normal loss, the 10 units of normal loss, they have been absorbed by the good units. But suppose If in a year I'm only getting 80 units of the output, or let's suppose I get 85 units of the output. Okay, so in this particular case, 5 is going to be my abnormal loss, and this abnormal loss I cannot make it part of my cost. I have to treat it separately. If I make it part of my cost, then my costing records are going to be incorrect. Then my costing of the product is going to be incorrect. So I am going to treat it separately. It is to be transferred to a separate account. So this is what you guys had to know. And yes, the answer is option number C. Okay, now quickly coming on to the next one. Right, Jagtap. Yes, you are right. This one is about a ratio analysis. You have to consider the following list and identify the correct code. Liquidity ratio, leverage ratio, activity ratio. We have to identify the correct code. I'm getting the answer as option number A. Ellen is saying D. Okay, most of you guys are saying option D would be the answer. So liquidity ratio, it includes your current ratio, etc. Okay, so basically it measures your ability to meet your current short-term obligations. Leverage ratio, it is basically showing the proportion of debt and equity, your proportion of owned and borrowed funds. And activity ratio, can someone give me example of activity ratio? They reflect how effectively you are utilizing the assets of the firm. So yes, the answer is definitely going to be option number D. Can you guys give me some examples of activity ratio? There are many activity ratios. They are also referred to as turnover ratios. So working capital turnover ratio, debtor turnover ratio, fixed asset turnover ratio, all these they are your activity ratios. Yeah, right. बिल्कुल जगताप ने तो सभी एग्जांपल दे दिए. स्टॉक टर्नओवर रेशियो, एग्जैक्टली. सेल टर्नओवर रेशियो नहीं होगी पूजा, सेल टर्नओवर तो सेम ही हो गया. टर्नओवर रेशियो के अंदर आप सेल टर्नओवर रेशियो निकालोगे तो ऊपर भी टर्नओवर, नीचे भी टर्नओवर. हाउ कम दिस कैन बी करेक्ट? ओके, सो दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. All of you are right, others are right. Yeah, debtor, creditor. So all of these, they are turnover ratios. Okay, next question. X Limited purchased a machinery of rupees 2 lakh, issued a check of 50,000 and 8% debentures of rupees 1,50,000. In the cash flow statement, the transaction will be shown as. So यहाँ पे मशीनरी लिया है, but मशीनरी की जो पेमेंट है, it is slightly complicated. And you have to link it with the cash flow statement. Oh, why is it getting blurred again? Okay. I have adjusted the focus. I don't know why the focus is not getting right today. But I have got the answer from Ellen. Ellen is, really quick. I don't know why camera hili ja raha hai Shalini aaj, but don't worry. I think I have adjusted it. Now it should be visible. Okay. So now let's try to understand it. So in this particular case, you have purchased a machinery of rupees 2 lakh, issued a check of rupees 50,000 and debentures of rupees 1,50,000. Okay. So in this particular case, the cash flow which is happening in this transaction, how much is the cash flow happening? Cash flow happening is only rupees 50,000 because this is the amount that you are actually paying in cash. Okay. So cash का मतलब होता है आपका cash in hand, and it may include your bank, and it may also include the cash equivalents as well. So ultimately the cash flow which is happening is only rupees 50,000. So my cash flow from investing activity is going to be rupees 50,000, and this is going to be my answer. Answer is option number B. Okay, answer is option number B. Answer is option number B. बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बहुत सारे आंसर्स आ गए थे ऑप्शन नंबर बी के. सो आई होप यू guys have understood it. Okay, so now let's come to the next one. Statement 1, statement 2. Auditor should obtain sufficient appropriate evidence to enable him to draw reasonable conclusion to form an opinion on the financial information. Second statement is the auditor is responsible for maintaining an adequate accounting system incorporating various internal controls appropriate to the size and nature of the business. Okay, so first statement is about obtaining sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, and second one is about basically your internal controls. Auditor has some responsibilities. He has to perform certain duties while conducting an audit. So you have to find out. अरे बाप रे, इतने स्पीड से आंसर दिया. All of you are saying option A. Option A, statement 1 only is true. Statement 2 is not right. Why statement 2 is not right? Because this is the responsibility of. Second statement is wrong because this is the responsibility not of the auditor, but this is the responsibility of the management. Management का responsibility है. So that's why second statement is wrong. Only first statement is right. Auditor को तो sufficient appropriate evidence लेना ही है, और ऑडिटर को ये इंश्योर करना है, ऑडिटर को बेसिकली चेक करना है कि इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम इज इन प्लेस एंड इट इज वर्किंग राइट. Okay, so this is the responsibility of the auditor. He does not have the responsibility of setting up or maintaining an adequate internal control system in the firm. Responsibility management का, ऑडिटर को तो बस उसे चेक करना है, वेरीफाई करना है अपना ऑडिट ओपिनियन बनाने के लिए. Yes, management is responsible. Okay. Coming to the next one, cost audit. Which of the following is incorrect in respect of cost audit? राइट शालिनी? बिल्कुल नहीं हारिका. चलिए कॉस्ट ऑडिट के बारे में बताइए. क्या ये सारे स्टेटमेंट्स ठीक हैं कॉस्ट ऑडिट के बारे में? सेक्शन 148 में आता है, कॉस्ट अकाउंटेंट कंडक्ट करता है, इज अपॉइंटेड बाय द बोर्ड, एंड जो रिपोर्ट होती है इट इज सबमिटेड टू द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स विद इन 180 days फ्रॉम द फाइनेंशियल ईयर. आर ऑल ऑफ दीज राइट? यस. संजय सिंह ऑप्शन नंबर डी. शालिनी सिंह ए. You know the answer is option number D. I don't know why you guys got confused. Maybe because I've tried to confuse you so much in the previous ones. So I think you got confused in this one as well. Some are saying A, some are saying B, and only a handful are saying option number D. But the right answer is none of the above is incorrect. Answer is option number D. Okay, so now we have discussed 15 questions till now, and if you guys are enjoying the today's session, if you have learned something new from this session, please do like the video first. Please do like the video first, and then we will proceed to the next questions. We are now going to discuss MCQs on international business. Yeah, now I am seeing most of the answers coming in as option number D. Okay. हाँ, सेक्शन रॉन्ग क्यों है? सेक्शन 148 ही तो है. 139 से 148 आपके ऑडिटिंग के प्रोविजंस आते हैं. Why is section wrong? I think section 148 is right. Okay, Mohini, that's really good to hear. Okay, so I believe all of you have liked the video. So quickly coming on to the next one. Which of the following mode of entry into international business would you recommend for entering into countries with high market complexities of operating business, such as political, economic, or other uncertainties? Again, I think the focus is getting blurred. I don't know what is happening with the camera today. Perhaps the camera does not want us to learn today. Ellen is saying export. Ellen is saying export. Okay, so here we are being asked which mode you are going to follow for entering into country which has high complexities. There are high complexities. There are political, economic or other uncertainties. So how would you enter that country? Suppose you were asked to do business in Ukraine. How would you enter into Ukraine? You would not do foreign direct investment there. You would not set up your own subsidiary there. You would not, maybe not prefer contract manufacturing. And if you want to target the audience of Ukraine, you would only go for exporting. You would export the goods from India. You would sit in India and simply export your goods. Okay, this is the only thing that you are going to do. So that's going to be the right answer. That's the only possible way of entering into these sorts of countries. So because of the situation, this question can be asked in the examination. So that's why I've included it here. Okay, now, yeah, all of the answers you are correct. All of the answers are correct. Answer is option number A, exporting. Okay, moving on to the next one. The dash of Nissan was quite visible in its initial years as the cars and trucks exported to USA were difficult to start during the cold winter months. In Japan, the car owners would cover their cars with hoods or blankets during winters and expected Americans to do the same. तो क्या हुआ, निसान जो है जापान से कार्स और ट्रक्स को यूएसए में एक्सपोर्ट करने लगा एंड जापान के अंदर लोगों का हैबिट था कि दे वुड कवर देयर कार्स विद हुड्स और ब्लैंकेट्स ड्यूरिंग विंटर सो दैट द कार्स वुड स्टे वार्म एंड इन द मॉर्निंग दे कुड इजीली स्टार्ट द कार. But Americans, they did not have this habit. So in America, it proved really difficult. It proved really difficult to start these Nissan cars. So which orientation of Nissan can you see here? You can see Nissan, how narrow-minded Nissan was. It was not considering the requirements of the audience of America. It was only concerned with this. Oh, again. Let's hope this is the last time that it happens. We'll continue sessions. Okay, देख लिया जी चैट को, don't worry. देख लिया चैट को, don't worry. Okay, I'm sorry, Jazz. I'll check out this issue. If the issue is not resolved, we'll have the session the traditional way that we were having earlier. Okay, now it's clear. Ethnocentric, you are giving me the answer is ethnocentric. Yes, ethnocentric is the answer. Okay, so ethnocentric का क्या मतलब होता है? Ethnocentric means that companies, they consider their home country superior. They are only considering the home country as a superior, and they are following the same approach in that they are following in the home country in the international other countries as well. Okay, so this ethnocentric approach of Nissan was visible here. We also have other approaches. Polycentric approach. We are adopting unique marketing strategy for every target country's market. Geocentric orientation. It is basically a mix of the ethnocentric and polycentric orientation, and basically we see the entire world as a target market. So answer is option number A. Answer is option number A. Okay, so now let's quickly finish all these questions. On signing the free trade agreement, FTA जब हम साइन करते हैं तो इनमें से क्या होता है बताइए. जब FTA साइन करते हैं तो इनमें से क्या होता है बताइए. Yeah, that was about EPRG. हाँ, जगताप कह रहे हैं हम खड़े सबसे बड़े बाकी सब गिर पड़े. ओके, बिल्कुल. हाँ, maybe Mohini, this can happen. Okay, so I'm getting answer is option number A and C. Again, people getting confused between A and C. कॉमन एक्सटर्नल टैरिफ. देखो, फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट आपने साइन कर लिया, सो एफटीए के अंदर आपका क्या होने वाला है? फ्री ट्रेड तो आपका होने वाला. ऑप्शन नंबर ए इज करेक्ट. बट आर यू गोइंग टू हैव कॉमन एक्सटर्नल टैरिफ फ्रॉम नॉन मेंबर कंट्रीज? तो एशियन कंट्रीज ने एफटीए साइन किया, सो बाहर की कंट्रीज से आर दे गोइंग टू Are they going to charge common tariff? Let's say two countries A and B, FTA sign किया. There is a country C. Country C से जो सामान A and B के अंदर आएगा, are they going to charge same tariff on this or not? Right, लक्ष्मी सिंह, कॉमन नहीं होता क्योंकि this is part of your custom union. Okay, first step is preferential trade agreement PTA, then is your free trade agreement FTA, and in FTA we do not have this common external tariff. The members, they are charging their own external tariffs. They are having their own external tariffs which they are charging. Okay, and in the custom union we have common external tariff. Okay, so this is something that you have to remember. This is something you have to remember कि common external tariff जो आपका आता है वो basically आपका custom union में आता है. Okay, quickly coming on to the next one. फटाफट से क्लियर करते हैं सारे क्वेश्चंस को. चलिए, this is the match the following question on international trade theories. देखते हैं फटाफट से who can give the right answer for this one. Yes, Mohini, you can appear for it. There is no harm in appearing for it. Members के साथ तो trade is going to be free, but non-members के साथ you do not have common external tariff. Okay. Yeah. So now I am seeing answers as option number B. Answer is option number B. Option number B is perfectly right. आपका comparative advantage theory किसने दिया? डेविड रिकार्डो ने दिया. We also have another theory. There is absolute advantage theory. Absolute advantage theory is given by whom? जल्दी से फटाफट से कमेंट करके बताओ कि absolute advantage theory हमें किसने दिया है? Product life cycle theory by Raymond Vernon. Okay, and this Raymond Vernon, it is a modern theory. Okay, he says initially products are going to be like the innovations are going to be done in developed countries and gradually they are going to move to the developing countries. Then it's the national competitive advantage by Michael Porter, where he basically talks about the factors which give a country a national advantage for some commodities. Okay, absolute advantage theory बिल्कुल एडम स्मिथ. अरे बाप रे, फटाफट से इतने सारे कमेंट्स आ गए. एडम स्मिथ ने दिया, बिल्कुल राइट, बिल्कुल जी बिल्कुल एडम स्मिथ ने दिया. Answer is option number B. Okay. So now let's come to the next question. Dash is an instrument which is issued by a foreign institutional investor to an overseas investor who wishes to invest in Indian stock market without registering with SEBI. Okay, so there is a person, let's suppose Mr. Tom, and he is very interested in making investments in India. But for making investments in India, he is basically a US resident. For making investments in India, he is not as such eligible for doing investments in India. Okay, he would have, if he wishes to enter India, he would have to take the approval of SEBI. He would have to comply with all the regulatory formalities. So what he does, he enters into contact with a foreign institutional investor. Now this foreign institutional investor is registered with SEBI and is doing lots of investments in India. Okay, so Tom gives money to this FII and this FII is going to put the money in India. So in return, Tom is giving money and in return, Tom is getting what? Tom is getting, yes, participatory note. All of you are saying option number C. Yes, Tom is going to get participatory notes. So answer is option number C. Okay. So now let's come to the next question. Dash is historically common in extractive industries such as mining. Okay, which of the following types of FDI is common in extractive industries such as mining? Let's see if you can answer this one. Let's see if you can answer this one. There are different types of FDI: backward vertical, forward vertical, conglomerate. Backward vertical. What do you mean backward vertical? What do you mean forward vertical? Okay, there is a supply chain. If you are going ahead in the supply chain, it is a forward vertical FDI. If you are going back in the supply chain, it is a backward vertical FDI. And if you are going into a totally unrelated domain, it is conglomerate FDI. So if you are talking about extractive industries such as mining, which FDI is going to be relevant here? Okay, in these kinds of industries like petroleum and all, okay, in all these mining industries like petroleum is there and all other mining industries are there. So in this particular case, let's suppose there is a petroleum company. Now this company, what it is going to do, it is ultimately going to supply petroleum to people, and what this company would try to achieve, this would try to achieve to have control over the source of the raw material. Okay, अगर आपका British Petroleum है, it is supplying raw material, it is supplying petrol to people, it would be worried about the sources from which it can get the petrol. So it would go back to the sources of raw material, okay, it would go back to the sources of production, and this backward going is going to be your backward vertical FTI. Okay, this is your backward vertical FTI. So that's why the answer is option number A, because these companies, they want to secure the raw material. They want to make sure कि जो उनका end product है, that should be readily available to the public. So that's why it is backward vertical FTI. Right. बिल्कुल, backward related to input. Okay. Next question, balance of payment से जुड़ा हुआ है. यूनिलेटरल ट्रांसफर आपकी बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट में कहां पे आते हैं? Where are unilateral transfers shown in your balance of payment account? There are n number of examples. Suppose if you are supplying coffee beans, now you start selling ready-made coffee to people. Earlier you were selling coffee beans to Starbucks, now you are selling ready-made coffee to people. This is going to be a forward FDI. There are n number of examples, any number of examples can be there. Okay, Jazz? For this, I am seeing the answers as option number A, some are saying option number B, and there is still one answer which is option number D. Are baapre. Blur. No, it's not blur. It seems fine to me. I am seeing the answer is option number A, B and D. The correct answer is option number B, invisible. Visible is basically your goods. It is basically your merchandise. Okay. Invisible includes three elements, S, I and T. S is your services, I is your investment income, and T is your transfers. These are basically your unilateral transfers or one-way transfers. Okay. तो इंडिया के अंदर बहुत सी population है which is getting money from abroad. There are many Indians who are sending money from perhaps UAE, Arabian countries to their parents living in India. So this is basically a unilateral transfer and it is part of the current account. Yeah, it is visible. Okay, that's good. Okay, moving on to the next one. Which among the following institutions, part of the World Bank Group, was the last one to be set up? तो सबसे लास्ट में कौन सा आया था ये बताना है आपको. लास्ट में कौन सा आया था? You have to identify which was the last one to be set up. IBRD, IDA, MEGA or ICSID. IBRD, IDA, MEGA and ICSID. There are 5 arms of the World Bank Group. There is another IFC which is not there in the options. There are 5 arms of the World Bank Group. Whenever I am talking about World Bank, then I am basically talking about your 2 institutions, IBRD and IDA. IBRD and IDA, they are basically your World Bank. Okay. And when I am talking about World Bank Group, I am talking about 5 institutions. Okay. 5 institutions. Which one was the last one to be set up? The last one to be set up, it was MEGA. 1988 में सेटअप हुआ था. हाँ, किसी को पता नहीं है, सब तुक्के लगा रहे. निहारिका ने आंसर दिया है MEGA 1988. Okay, that's really good to see कि आपको याद है. Because these are hardcore facts which have to be remembered. You have to remember these facts. You have to keep revising these facts. Then only you are going to remember them. You have to revise them even before your examination, even a day or 2 days before your examination to remember them. Okay, so first one to be set up, it was IBRDA, then we had IFC, okay, then we had IDA, then we had ICSID, and then we have the MEGA. Can you guys tell me, out of these 5 institutions, India is not a member of which of these? इंडिया इनमें से किनका मेंबर नहीं है? इंडिया इज नॉट अ मेंबर ऑफ विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग, विच ऑफ दीज वर्ल्ड बैंक ग्रुप इंस्टीट्यूशंस? हाँ, आप सभी बता रहे हैं कि सर ये सीक्वेंस है, ये ईयर्स हैं। India is not. IMF is separate. World Bank and IMF, they are referred to as Bretton Woods twins. That's a separate thing. Okay, yeah. ICSID. इंडिया ICSID का मेंबर नहीं है। रेस्ट अदर्स का इंडिया मेंबर है, ICSID का नहीं है। I can again see some of the people saying MEGA. Please guys, do check it again. MEGA is not the answer. Answer is ICSID. Which of the following countries is not a WTO observer country? WTO के मेंबर्स तो पता होंगे आपको, परहैप्स याद भी कहां करोगे, 160 से ज्यादा मेंबर्स हैं WTO के, but still a tricky question for you guys. It's not a WTO observer country. Okay, some in WTO we are going to have some member countries who are part of it. There are going to be some observer countries not fully part of WTO but they are connected to WTO. And we have some non-member countries, they are not related to WTO, not keen on following, not keen on joining WTO. So what do you feel? Out of these countries, which country would not be keen to join WTO? कौन सी country लग रही है? This is the same country which is often in news. You know, news channels pick up this country at night and they are telling lots of weird facts about this country's leader. Which country should it be? Which country should it be? कौन सी कंट्री को कोई इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं होगा WTO में ज्वाइन करने का? You know, in these kinds of questions, perhaps you would have to think this way only. You know, similar question was asked in recent UGC Net 2021 examination as well. So if you would have to make a guess, you should make it as North Korea, and this North Korea is absolutely correct. North Korea is absolutely correct. North Korea जो है उसको कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है बाकी से। हाँ, बिल्कुल नॉर्थ कोरिया, जगताप ने बोला, शुभा ने बोला, बिल्कुल नॉर्थ कोरिया ही तो है। तो नॉर्थ कोरिया इज द आंसर। दीज आर द WTO ऑब्जर्वर कंट्रीज एंड दीज आर द WTO नॉन मेंबर कंट्रीज। तो इसमें मेरे को सबसे अपीलिंग नॉर्थ कोरिया लगा और इसीलिए मैंने इसको यहां पे इंक्लूड किया। दैट्स व्हाई आई फॉर्म दिस क्वेश्चन। ओके, सो आई बिलीव नाउ यू आर गोइंग टू रिमेंबर कि भैया ऑब्जर्वर एंड नॉन मेंबर कंट्रीज दे आर सेपरेट इन WTO। Okay, coming on to the next one. This is the last question for today. What is not correct about quotas in IMF? IMF quotas के बारे में कौन सी स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट नहीं है? Let's see if you can guess it right. जगताप कह रहे हैं, जगताप सुनते हैं रात को न्यूज नॉर्थ कोरिया की पूरी, ये लगाते हैं न्यूज चैनल और देखते हैं कहां पे न्यूज आ रही है नॉर्थ कोरिया के लीडर की, और ये सुनते हैं पूरी उसको। कोटाज इन IMF के बारे में कौन सी स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट नहीं है? IMF इज अ कोटा बेस्ड इंस्टीट्यूशन. कोटाज आर द बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स ऑफ द IMF. Each member is assigned equal quota. It's STR, and you guys are absolutely right. Answer is option number C. Every member is not assigned equal quota. Quota is arrived at by using a formula. There is a formula which is used. We basically assign quota to countries on the basis of their relative position in the world economy. तो जो country ज्यादा powerful है, we are going to assign more quotas to it, and the country which is less powerful, less quotas are going to be assigned to it. Okay, बिल्कुल लक्ष्मी ने तो इंडिया का कोटा भी बता दिया। करंट कोटा फॉर्मूला में आपको GDP, ओपननेस, इकोनॉमिक वेरिएबिलिटी और इंटरनेशनल रिजर्व्स, इनके बेसिस पे आपका कोटा अराइव होता है। ओके, so guys, this was the discussion for today. Thank you for joining in. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not subscribed till now. For regular updates, do join the Telegram channel. And for free notes, you can download the free Everstudy Classes app from Google Play Store. You will get lots of free content and you can even buy paid courses through this app. Okay, in case you have any query, you can mail us at hello@everstudy.in or you can WhatsApp or call at this number. Website is everstudy.co.in. You can even access your courses. You can even attempt your test through this particular website as well. मोहिनी भी देखते हैं। मोहिनी तो नॉर्थ कोरिया के मिनरल रिसोर्सेज के बारे में भी बता रहे हैं। मोस्ट वेलकम शंभवी, वेंकटेश, श्रुति, शुभा, निहारिका, कुसुम, पार्वती, हाँ जी सतीश बताइए क्या सजेशन है? इजाज नेक्स्ट क्लास का टॉपिक आपका है, आई थिंक टेक्स से लीगल एस्पेक्ट्स पे है आपकी नेक्स्ट क्लास। हाँ बिल्कुल सतीश जी, दे दीजिए सजेशन आपका। मोस्ट वेलकम नयन, जगताप, विनोद, मोहिनी, सहाना, सविता। Okay, yeah, I will definitely look into your suggestion, Satish. We are not conducting much of the classes in this format. So perhaps there is some issue with the camera or perhaps lightning. So I'll definitely check it out. I will definitely get some technical guy to check it out for me. And if it is not sorted out, we will have that session traditional way. Don't worry. Okay, Satish. Most welcome, Sanju, Raghav, Vanishri, Lokesh. Yes, we are going to do classes. Don't worry. Okay, Geeta, we'll try to. Most welcome, Prajakta. Okay, Satish is saying interesting है but light कम है. Okay, चलिए, I'll try to make sure कि आपका light issue resolve हो जाए. Okay जी. चलिए, so now I should end this session. New digital initiatives of RBI and SEBI. This is basically part of your current affairs section, na? Okay. Okay, most welcome, Geeta. So guys, keep working hard. Bye. Take care. All the best.